And we are live. Hey everyone, welcome. Yeah, we are baking practice. So today we are making stuff with that fun puff pastry we made on Tuesday. Um, we're a little early. I decided I have some stuff I need to cut up. I'm gonna have some hot dogs for pigs in a blanket. And use Canadian bacon for put my cheese down here on the counter. Um, I'm gonna do kind of ham and cheese rolls, but with Canadian bacon. So kind of the same. We just had this sitting in the fridge, and it's technically expired. Expired food's fine. It's completely sealed and vacuum packed, and it's probably just fine. So we're gonna go ahead and use this. I didn't get out the berries and Nutella yet. We'll do that when we get to that part. But yeah, so we're making the ham and cheese rolls, we're making pigs in a blanket, and some turnovers. So it should be kind of fun, kind of easy, because this is just assembly and I currently have the oven turned off because we don't need it that hot in here right now. And all of these things, I'm gonna, after I roll them out and get them on the thing, I'm gonna toss them in the oven for, I'm not the oven, I'm gonna toss them in the freezer for a few minutes just to kind of make sure they're nice and cold before we throw them in the oven. So I'm going to start the other camera. We're going to move this camera so that you guys can watch what I'm doing. And to start, we're just going to cut some stuff up. And the stage below. Alright. This. Down, down, and around. My phone, put it off to the side. My husband said he might call here in a little bit, so I'm using a different phone for these purposes, and because I usually use my phone, but I'm using this phone right now. I'm gonna tighten this down, and it seems like I either got it too loose or too tight or something. I don't know. Is that falling? Are you falling? Just touch. This falling? No, that seems okay. Okay. Let's grab a couple of bowls real quick. I forgot about that part. And not that anyone cares, but I also have a chai tea that I'm gonna be sipping on because I got it. It's just a chai mix I got from Costco, and it's my coffee. It's enough this morning. I went to bed on time, but I'm just really tired today. So, I'm only gonna cut up 2 hot dogs for right now because I'm not sure what the amount of dough is gonna look like for everything, but it should be fine. So, but yeah, we're gonna start off with just cutting up 2 hot dogs. I'm trying to do them. So we'll cut these hot dogs into thirds. That gives me 6. I'm probably gonna need more than that. Let's think about it. We'll think about it. We'll think about it as we're going. But I think that's a good number to start with anyway. We'll probably need more. Oh, yeah. No, it's a sleepy day. It's nice and sunny outside. Like outside here is so bright and sunny. It's just I have not been able to wake up all day, and I didn't want for a walk this morning, so no, it's my fault. It just smells like Canadian bacon. Can you smell it? Can you smell it? Nope. You ruined the lack of smell vision. So the recipe that I'm technically following is from the one that we saw the other day when I was scrolling through the puff pastry stuff. But that one, the way that they had it is they put mustard on the bread and then they laid out slices of ham and then sprinkled cheese over it. One, we're not using mustard. Two, um, so I'm using 3 different cheeses and I want them to be distinct. So what I'm gonna do actually is lay out one big flat, rows of cheese, and then sprinkle ham chunks on it. So it's gonna be kind of the opposite of what they did. And here, no, my hand isn't dirty. I was drawing on myself. I drew a ring on myself and it's slowly washing off as I wash my hands multiple times because I was just bored and wanted to. So yeah, we're just cutting this down into little chunks. Like I was saying, I do plan on having the majority, like have this a big thing. These like technically ham and cheese, but they're really like Canadian bacon. They're very, very similar. Canadian bacon and ham. They have a similar taste, similar texture. I don't even remember what they're made out of. What is Canadian bacon made out of? This is what, oh, cured with. Okay, so it says it's cured with water, sugar, salt, sodium lactate, flavorings. Do you say what you are? Nope, I'm assuming it's pork. So we're just gonna go with pork. It's all pork. Well, at least if we're comparing Canadian bacon to ham, I'm assuming it's all pork. I know regular bacon is pork, so why wouldn't Canadian bacon be pork? If Canadian bacon is not pork, let me know and I will correct myself, but I am fairly certain Canadian bacon is pork. Alright, we have a bunch of diced up Canadian bacon, we have a couple of hot dogs. Let's do one more hot dog. I don't like hot dogs very much. I'm mostly making these for my kids because they like hot dogs and I think that they'll actually like these. But I don't know. So, all right, we're gonna just set everything off to the side for the moment so we can roll out our dough. I'm also gonna wash my hands because I don't think pork hands rolling out the dough, especially since we're gonna use the dough for the turnovers. We're gonna use dough for, like, we're doing the ham and cheese spirals, we're doing pigs in a blanket, and we're also doing a couple of dessert things. And so I think if I have ham in my hands when I roll them out for a dessert, that might not be the best option. Now, this is butter, so it's not gonna have lard, but if we used lard, then it would still have pork. Using lard is very, very different than like using pork or even like bacon fat. Bacon fat and lard, very similar concepts, two completely different products. So we're not going to use piggy hands for rolling out. Okay, now let's just push the camera back up a little bit so we have plenty of space. Let's rotate this a little bit so we can try to get the legs out of camera. Nope. I'll rotate this up a little bit. Hmm. 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 I still don't think that's working. Oh well. Close enough. Close enough. Plenty of progress there. lots and lots of punch this. So this nice and firm. Holding on one side, it's not bending over. So I think I'm gonna grab a different knife. I'm gonna go ahead and cut this in half and roll out half of it for the savory stuff. And we'll roll out the other half for the sweet stuff. Little paring knife. We don't need still about half to you. Looks like about half to me. But we don't need like we don't need a cleaver for this. This doesn't have any bones, so you don't need a strong knife to, so you could probably use a butter knife if you really wanted to, but I don't want to. I want to use something that has a little bit of an edge to it just because it makes it easier. I don't feel like using all my strength to push down on it today. But a lovely fold. I could tell, like if you look in here, you can, I don't know if you could see it. See that? I can see layers. That makes me happy. All right, so we're just gonna wrap this back up for now, just for a few minutes while we put it. Roll this one out. So we have a little square of dough here. Which way are we gonna roll it? This might technically want flour. We'll see what happens when we start rolling, and if it wants flour, we'll give it a little bit of flour. It's not a big deal. But like if you remember on Thursday when we were rolling it out, I didn't let it chill down all the way before I did some of my folds. I just chilled it for a few minutes so that it wouldn't be like really warm. But today it's a lot colder, so well, at least the dough is a lot colder. The day, I don't know. The day hasn't been too cold actually. I went outside on my walk earlier and I didn't have a jacket, so nice, not too incredibly freezing here in Nevada. So now I wouldn't say it's warm. I'm just not sure what the temperature is. I believe it's in the 50s or 60s. Well, technically, if my computer is correct, it says 51 light rain. But it is also sunny out, so I don't think it's raining either. I'm trying to roll this dough out super thin. It's starting to stick to the board, the counter here, so I do think I need some flour. Now, we're not like making it more of a dough, so we don't need a ton of flour. We just need basically enough to put on it so that it's not gonna stick to everything. So just a little pinch of flour should do just fine. Alright, and this is rolling out nice and rectangular, which that makes me happy. That'll make it a lot easier to roll up for both of the pigs in a blanket and the pinwheels. So, lovely, lovely. Alright, rolling, 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 rolling. What we're doing, rolling. I think we were doing a lot of that on Tuesday as well. Now, see, this is still kind of thick-ish, and while it's probably good for like rolling to fold it, I'd probably even still do it a little thinner than this if I was going to fold it again and make it into like just trying to get more layers in it. I'm not trying to do that right now. Technically we are, because it was tri-folded before doing this, but I'm not actively doing that. I'm not actively looking to fold it and all of that fun stuff right now. I'm looking to roll it out so that we have a thin layer to do stuff with. Now, this makes me think that there's more dough here on the edges, so trying to just roll it to this middle part so I can get it, one, thin, and two, a little bit more even down here, because this is getting a little jagged. That's probably my fault. Probably doing something wrong, which it's okay. That's how you learn, right? That's how you learn. Rolling, rolling, rolling. Sprinkle, sprinkle, sprinkle. Because I'm 90% sure this is like sticking on the other side. Like, I can feel it. Do you feel it? You can't feel it. Does it look like it's sticking? It feels like it's sticking. Okay, so it's the butter that makes it stick. I think the dough feels fine, but it's the butter that pokes through that's making it stick. So just a thin, thin layer. You can barely even see it. All right. Just this bottom part isn't rolling out the same as the top part. That makes me just, I think there's just a lot more dough up in that part. So I am trying, that's bad. That I know isn't a good sign, but we're gonna pretend. So I'm trying to roll everything into the corners, or these corners over here anyway. And roll it out into a dough. This is actually looking a really good shape and size. I just about have this as thin as I want it. Might see that. I think I want to take it a little bit thinner, but not too terribly much. This is looking really good, actually. So, alright. I'm gonna flour this again, and then I'm gonna flip it over because I can feel it sticking. I want to roll this way a little bit. So let's flip it and so we can move it in a different direction. But overall, if you see this, this is kind of the thickness that I wanted. I'm not actually trying to fold it right now. I'm just folding it so that it's a shorter distance to flip over. So I'm gonna roll it all this way. All right. Going good. I still think this side is kind of thick, so I want to see if I can roll it out straight. Like over here, I'm rolling at an angle, trying to just get this as flat as I can. So I think that if I roll this out straighter, I guess, I don't know. What am I doing? Straighter, or is it just like straight out, or just kind of into more of a square like? I don't know. This side's getting really big. That's okay. We will turn this side into pigs in a blanket, I guess. It'll work. It'll all work out. Everything works out in the end. If it's not, if it hasn't worked out, then it's not the end. There's still other things to do. Oh man. And see, like I like doing these little projects like one at a time and like just for myself. So like waking up at 2 in the morning or 11 o'clock at night to take this through and like actually do this as a living, that is not my jam. That is not what I want to do. Yeah, I like this, but I don't want to spend my life waking up at crazy hours in the morning to make a bunch of this stuff, the same things, over and over again, every day. I want to experiment. I want to play. I want to make things that people are going to enjoy, but they're still yummy and delicious. And I know how to make a bunch of them. That's what I want. Okay, so I think I'm actually just going to cut it like right here. And use this part for the ham and cheese, and then use part for the pizza and butter. Little knife. Okay, little finger, little knife. I've been watching a lot of, I'm not actually watching Game of Thrones, but it's like videos of people making commentary about Game of Thrones. So, yeah, since we're going to be working on this, I'm just going to lightly fold this, and I'm going to put it on the sheet tray over here. But this is, I already lined some sheet trays with some silicone mats just to have them. I'm going to go ahead and put this in the fridge for a few minutes while we get this. Okay, so this is my pretty edge, so I'm going to make that be my top edge. I know this feels still kind of thick, and then this edge isn't so good, so I'm going to make it full. Alright. So I have Swiss cheese, which I think ham and Swiss is delicious. So hopefully that'll be as good as I'm thinking it'll be. Now I don't care about this edge, if this edge is free and clear or not, but I do care about this edge. So I want to leave a little bit of space on this edge right here so that it gives room to kind of seal together. Alright, we have the Swiss is done. Alright, I'll do regular cheddar cheese. This is a medium cheddar, so yummy cheddar. I am going to use some of the cheddar cheese with the pigs in a blanket because I like cheese in the pigs in a blanket. Though I don't eat pigs in a blanket very much because I'm just not a fan of hot dogs. Like, what are those things? Sausages, hot dogs. Alright. We have our white cheddar. Now I'm doing it this way specifically to try to give a little bit of space for the like I have the cheddar over here and the Swiss over here so that they're not like right next to each other, so that way if we have some that are like, there might be one or two in the middle here that like have some of each one, and I don't want the white cheddar and the Swiss to get confused. So just doing them separate. I'm going to take one more piece of this cheddar and I'm just going to fold it in half so I can try to fit it in this spot right here. Okay, so voila, we have dough and cheese, dough and cheese, dough and cheese, dough and cheese, dough and cheese. And then we have all of our ham. We're just gonna sprinkle, 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 sprinkle. Sprinkle, spread it around. Spreading it around everywhere. Teenage boys. What? I'm not a teenage boy. I don't know what you're talking about. Alright. Let me check. I think I might have some leftover egg wash in the fridge. Because I know for this part you can use water or egg wash. I'm gonna Give it a sniff test. Smells like egg wash. Alright, let's get not a paintbrush. You know what I'm talking about. What is this? Basting brush? No, I don't know. Anyway, we're going to use this creamy egg mixture, and we're just going to put a line along the top here, paint it and spread it out, so that when we get it all rolled up, it'll stick together a little bit better. And then I'll put a little bit of egg wash on the outside of them just to make them pretty. Okay. 2 dough scrapers. I have one of these that you get at just most stores. I have one of these, which I could use this one. I could probably use both, but I don't have that one. It has the handly thing, and I don't care. So use this one, get it all freed up, and see about, like, this is the hard part, getting everything started rolling. Once you get it rolling, then it should kind of hold together and not be so much of an issue. Now the cheese wants to unroll, so that causes a little bit of an issue, but we're working with it. Oops, come back here. Fold up that cheese there, and like that dough doesn't cover the bottom part. Problematic. All of it. But that's okay. That's what happens when you try to roll things, is that they don't always roll the way that you want them to. And especially since I'm using sliced cheese doesn't like to roll up. Sliced cheese wants to stay in slice form. So rolling. Uh-oh, cheese is encroaching on my line. My defense line. Is that a big enough line? Well, let's see. Okay. As we've gone over that, let's see if it's sticking. Nope, not sticking. Not sticking at all. Now, I don't know if it's the cheese in the way or what we got going on, but it doesn't like sticking. So, what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to trade out this one. I'm going to put this on another baking tray. I'm going to stick this in the freezer for a few minutes in hopes that it kind of helps it come together a little bit better. So, and the cheese log in the freezer. Over and over and over. Now we have our lovely eggs in a blanket roll up. Now for this, we're going to cut this into strips, and we want the strips to be about as wide, if not just a little bit thinner than these, because we want the ends poking out. We want to see the ends. So I am going to square off ends here. I'm not sure what I'm going to do with any little scraps like this. We might just bake them off and see what happens. But if you look at this, I'm going to stick that over the edge a little bit and just kind of make that mark and kind of come along here. Now this isn't freezing cold or anything, but it is a little chilly, so that's good. And then just go along. I'm sorry, I'm left-handed and I have the camera on the right side because that's just the best place to film for this right now. I'm just going to take this along and cut them so that they're all about the same width. And like I said, I probably cut too many hot dogs. We'll see. Because right now there's 3, so that's 1 hot dog. I cut up 3 hot dogs, so hopefully we can get 9. Alright, 4. 5. 6. I'm just stacking them up so that they're, and kind of consolidate them out of my way. 6. Oh, this is gonna be super close. 7. Uh-oh, that last one's not gonna quite make the cut. So we'll see if maybe we can do a Frankenweenie. 8. And then I have these little bits for 9. So maybe we'll see if we can make that work out. All right, let's try that. So with our cheddar cheese, I'm not gonna have as much of this cheddar cheese. So let's see, we got it. Shit over there. If we put it in half, I don't quite want that much. So thirds. We'll do a third. Do this into thirds. That's gonna be a little. All right, so we have 3. We'll see. This is probably gonna spill out the middle, but we will see what happens. All right, so just roll this up. Okay, this is gonna be our Frankenweenie. I want to start with the Frankenweenie, just specifically so that it's taken care of and I don't have to think about it anymore. Anyway, a little bit of egg wash. And seal, close. What's the opposite of open sesame? I don't know. We'll find out, I guess. So we have pig in a blanket number 1. All right, so since we have these pre-cut, put the little cheese. See, I like the cheese just inside there. Put the hot dog on there and just roll it up. And this lets me know that I did get a good size on these hot dogs, or at least I cut the dough to a good size. Sizing is good because get away food fly. They're sticking out just a little bit on the ends, and I think that I'm not sure if this is going to contract and expose it more, or if it'll puff up and be about the same. But we got that there. That's about what I'm looking for. So we don't have a lot of these, so we're just gonna keep rolling. Just keep rolling. Oh, let's see. Do y'all have some favorite hors d'oeuvres? I really like spinach quiche and those kind of things, but I didn't feel like doing all that mess, so because I have cream cheese, but I would have had to go and get the spinach and a couple other things. Anything else that I wanted to put in it, Parmesan cheese, um, all that kind of fun stuff. So I just didn't want to do that. Didn't want to live that life today, so we're not. We're living this life where we go through and just make the ones for the things that we have on hand. Which that's a lot of baking is just doing, or a lot of cooking anyway, is just doing something interesting with things that you have on hand. All right, these are just about rolled up. I'm gonna go ahead and just like egg all of these. Egg in your face. All right. Technically, yeah, they say you should be able to just cut pastry with a sharp knife. Sharp knife, it's all good. And puff pastry cuts super easy because it's like it's a dough. It's a dough, and dough cuts easy. I think that the reason that they give you that advice is so that you don't, like with biscuits, when you cut biscuits, it if you don't do it with like a biscuit cutter and go straight down, then it'll pinch the edges and it won't puff up as nicely. So I think that's why you're supposed to use a sharp knife with puff pastry. It's because we have a lot of layers of butter here. And if you didn't use a sharp knife, then it would compress them together. That's what I'm thinking anyway. So we're basically done with the cheese. So I think I'm going to put all of this away, and I'm going to grab a piece of American cheese for these last three, just to see if the American cheese cooks up different than the cheddar cheese. It probably will. American cheese is a lot meltier than cheddar cheese, but I prefer my kids to eat real cheese, or real cheese versus American cheese. So we'll do a few with American cheese, but mostly cheddar cheese. So one single slice of American is what we're gonna try. Like I said, I do think this would probably be better with the American cheese, just because American cheese is nice and melty, and it's usually just better for like things like this where you have melted stuff. We're not gonna do anything about it. I'm gonna put a little one on this one, and that's gonna be the reason why it doesn't have as much cheese. That one's just smaller. It doesn't need as much cheese, right? Like a smaller person doesn't need as much food as a bigger person. Like someone who's 4'11" and weighs 95 pounds does not need the same amount of food as somebody who's 6'5" and 400 pounds. Like there's just a difference there. So I think these are going to be a little bready, just because I think that this might be a little long for this, but it's working out just fine. It'll work out just fine. Who doesn't love puff pastry? If you don't like puff pastry, put it in the comments. Let me know. Why don't you like puff pastry? I don't know if anybody doesn't like puff pastry, so I'm really interested to hear some reasons why somebody might not like puff pastry. Because to me, it's a buttery dough. Now, my kids aren't fond of the flavor of butter, like by itself. They don't want it on toast or something like that. But they're fine with it in stuff, so I don't think it's a flavor thing. Oh. So, let's take the ham and actually, let's wipe this down. I don't know if you probably can't tell, but I can see egg wash like right here. So we're gonna get that egg wash off of the counter so that it's not making the dough stick. Just a clean towel to dry everything up real quick. Yeah, we're not trying to make any dough stick to the counter. We're just trying to let's try to escape the freezer. We'll put this out. I'm gonna put this in the freezer just to try to get clean. So the inside of the freezer is about this much shorter, like width-wise, than these pans. So like it's like this, so I have to turn it a little sideways. Those pigs are gonna get rolling everywhere. But this is nice and firm now, so that's cool. And then we'll have that for the these here in a minute. But I don't know if you can see this. I can see a line here and here where those cheeses end. So I'm going to cut it at these lines just to kind of get those cheeses to be separate. There's still some Swiss right there. That's okay. I see the lines. I'm just not sure if those are the correct lines. Like there's a little bit of cheddar there, or white cheddar, but you don't really see the white cheddar or the yellow cheddar over here. So that makes me happy. I'm so happy. Hoppy, hippy, hoppy, happy. Oh. Now these end pieces are going to be interesting, and I'm probably going to cut up an extra piece of Canadian bacon to put on top of it, just because. All right, now I think we want them to be about half an inch. That's probably closer to about an inch. I don't know, but that's how I'm going to cut them. And so we're just cutting, 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 cutting. And these are going to be the rolls. Now this last one I'm not going to cut down anymore. It's going to be just like that. And like I said, I'm probably going to take some extra Canadian bacon and just like sprinkle it on it so that it has that. So we have 4 Swiss rolls. And then, because I'm probably going to be the only one who eats the Swiss, the white cheddar over here. These are so fairly cold. Ooh, I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna turn on the oven to 375, just so they're gonna be heating up. This is still gonna be a few minutes before we put it in, but it should be nice and hot by the time we get there. Okay, so now that I remember to turn the oven on, let's finish cutting these up. And I am gonna put these in the oven, not oven, the freezer until the oven is ready, just so that these can be as nice as cold as they can be before we cook them. That's a bright, vibrant orange. I like it. Okay. 3, probably get 6 out of this. Okay. 4, put that piece down in there just because. And 5 and 6. Awesome. Okay, so 8 and 6. We got 12 rolls, and like this is Swiss and cheddar. Okay. You know, this actually, I don't think I showed you what it actually looked like, but these are going around everywhere. Part of it's because they're circular. So you know, I think I'm going to stand these up on their ends just while we're putting them in the freezer so that they don't roll around everywhere crazy. Okay, so these are the cheddar. I'm going to put the cheddar all the way on one side. And then, okay, so the white cheddars are over here. We have the regular cheddar cheese in the middle. And then these are the Swiss and cheddar. And then these are the Swiss. Or this is the Swiss and cheddar. These are the regular cheddar. And these are the Swiss. So Swiss cheese. I wonder if I can. Let's try to re-roll this and see if we can get it a little bit tighter, since this is the end piece and it doesn't have like as much filling in it. Like you can see just a couple pieces of ham. Yeah, I'm just trying to roll this up a little bit tighter, and like I said, I am gonna throw a little bit of the Canadian bacon just like down here. Ooh! I just dumped Canadian bacon juice all over the floor because I picked the package up wrong. Oopsies. Oh, come on. Come on. It's not coming out. There we go. Yes. A little cutting board. Cut this up super quick. And turn over. Cut up some pieces. I probably should have put it in there when I was re-rolling it, but this one doesn't have very much, so I'll put it down in here and just kind of shove, 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 shove. Okay, so this is going to go back into the freezer while the oven finishes. And for the record, fixing a blanket up on their ends didn't really work. Because I have that hand juice on the floor here, I'm gonna go wash my hands and get a paper towel to wipe it up so that I can stand not in ham juice. And then I also have, since we're about to roll out that second batch of dough. Oh, yummy ham juice and dirt. So we're also going to move egg wash off to the side, so that's not fire. There's some ham on the counter here. Oh no. Alright, fine. We'll clean it up. Because this is about to be the dough for the turnovers. And I'm sorry, I don't want ham or Canadian bacon in my nutella or berry turnovers. So towel, this is drying. Alright. We use the little knife to cut the thing, so we don't want to use the little knife to cut things, other things. Okay, these are going to the wall. Here's the rest of the dough. So we'll unwrap this. Probably should have started the oven a little bit sooner, but I quite honestly forgot that I hadn't started it already, so it's okay. It's okay. Technically, yes, it's an email, but a little bit of flour on my board. Alright, should I roll it out this way or this way? I'm gonna roll it out this way because this is the way I was rolling it before. So I think I technically might have been folding it wrong at one point because I think you're supposed to fold it the same way every time so that the layers of butter all go the same direction or something. But I think I did that wrong. I don't know. Not necessarily I don't know, don't care, but kind of close, kind of close. It's not that important to me. We'll see how this turns out. And if it turns out terrible, then we'll try it again with like a different folding thing. But I think it looks fine. But I also haven't cooked yet, so I don't know if cooking them would do something different. Alright. Just kind of flip that over, and then I'm trying to scooch that flour around so it's underneath where I'm working. Just kind of rolling out kind of towards me. Sometimes it's easier to push things away, sometimes it's easier to pull them towards you, and for this, that was just a little bit easier to pull it towards me. Alright, so now, pushing away, see away, push away, push away. I hate how this end is all thin and this end is fatter. Can I do anything to fix that? The only thing I can really think to do is like push more material this way, and hopefully that'll make it fatter, but I think it's just making it stretch out more. Oh. Okay, so we will roll on an angle. Is this an official rolling out technique? Probably not, but what I'm doing, so I think it's from one of the technically like mommy bloggers, but she's like a mommy TikToker, gentle parenting TikToker that I watch sometimes, Mama Chris's. A lot of times she's like, this is what works for our family. I'm not saying it'll work for yours, but this is what works for us. And so that's kind of how I feel about it right now. I don't know. I don't know if this actually works or is actual thing in real life, but this is what we're doing. All right, the oven just let me know it was ready, so I'm going to set this aside for a second. To reset up the Parthenon in Rome. Okay. Give these a little bit of space. Breathing room between each other. Oopsies. Okay. Does it matter which direction they go on the board? Not necessarily, but this is the direction they're going on my board. All right, now, like I said, I'm not sure if you're supposed to put an egg wash on these things, but I'm doing it because I want to. I have some egg wash that I need to get rid of, and I'll probably toss it after this. And yeah, it's really not necessary. Like puff pastry usually turns out really like it's butter, so it's really buttery. We're just gonna like dab, 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 dab. Dab, 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 dab. Not the 2000s dab. This is a different kind of dab. This is a much older dab than the 2000s. Okay, so the recipe thingy I was looking at said 375 for 18 minutes. So I have the oven on at 375, and I'm gonna put a timer on for 10 minutes just to check these because things don't always take the time that they say they're going to. We did start rolling around a little bit, so we just kind of gently scooch them back anywhere. Alright, so like I still have this not triangle, but like parallelogram instead of like a rectangle. So I am trying to roll the things in directions. We're gonna roll at an angle. I'll push things out to the sides, hopefully. There's the plan. Let's see how well the plan goes. Ooh. Ooh. Oh no! What am I doing? Oh, we're going this direction. And we're going this direction. This way. No, that way. No, this way. No, that way. And straight out. And technically for this one, it wouldn't. I just stuck my finger in there. It doesn't exist. It doesn't exist. It probably is gonna mess something up here a little bit later, but shh, it's okay. We're just gonna pretend it doesn't exist. And then this, we're trying to go rectangular, which if this ends all like bulbous, I'm fine with that. I'm just trying to get it to be rectangular versus a blob shape. Okay, so we're gonna sprinkle a little flour all over this. Ooh, this is bad over here. I shouldn't do this. This is sticking too much. Okay. And this is like a way that you can roll up pie dough in order to like transfer it into a pan. And so I'm just, that side is floured. I roll it that way. Wow! Wow! Which is really bad because what was coming to hit my mind was Shamu, and I'm like, nope, that's not it. That's a whale. Was a whale? Is Shamu still alive? I think Shamu died a long time ago. Because Shamu was a big thing when I was a kid, so I know whales can live for a long time, but they don't live very well in captivity. And I know Shamu was in captivity for a long time, but I also think Shamu killed some people, and so usually when animals kill people, they don't live very long. I like to kill them back. You killed my mother, time to die. I think that's the entire premise of the movie Brother Bear. Like, he killed the bear's mom because the bear killed his brother or something like that. I don't know. It's been a long time since I've seen Brother Bear. Gosh, I don't know. Does anybody watch that movie? Like, somebody has to be like, oh my gosh, that's my favorite movie. I watched it 5 million times and I like to watch it 2 times a day. Like, there's probably somebody like that, but I don't know them. Not saying a lot because I don't know a lot of people. It was actually really funny last night. One of my kids has been, he's been reading the story tonight. Hola! Welcome! Thanks for coming back. Alright, so we're gonna flip this over again because I feel like it's getting sticky. Like it's sticking on the edges. Like, I don't know if you can see that, but it's like sticking. Oh no, I'm left-handed. I'm not totally left-handed. Technically, I'm ambidextrous with left hand dominant, and so this is just trying to dominate things with my right hand. It's not the right answer. But this one is rolling out a lot more of a rectangle than the other one, so that's awesome. Okay. All right. That was exciting for a minute. All right, so I think I have this about as rolled out as we're gonna do for right now. Uh-oh. Oh well. We'll use the nose timer. And if you don't know what a nose timer is, that's when things smell like they're cooked. That's when you check on them. But I'll probably check on it in a little bit. If you were watching when I said I'm gonna start a timer, like you notice when 10 minutes has passed. Let me know, because I have no idea. Alright. So this is just Puff Pastry. Yo no sé. Wait, that's French. I think that was Frenchlish? Like a mix of French and Spanish. ¿Sabes? I don't know. How to say puff pastry in Spanish? That's what I don't know. But this is what we got. I actually think I'm doing a really good job of rolling out the puff pastry. Just crawling. And this side does feel thinner than that side, so I'm trying to just get everything kind of even right now. So what I'm thinking of doing for these tarts, turnovers, I think they're technically called turnovers. What I'm going to do is I'm going to just cut these into rectangles. Oh, that's nice and square. Rectangular, I love it. love it. I love it. I'm on squares, rectangles. But this side is thicker than this side. I could feel it. Okay, let's see if I can get this side to roll out a little bit better. But yeah, I'm gonna roll these and I'm gonna cut these into little squares, rectangular kind of shapes, and put some filling in. Just kind of fold it in half, kind of like a little ravioli. But I don't think I want to clip the edges. I just want to let the edges be how they're gonna be. This middle part still kind of feels kind of thick, so let's just roll the middle part a little bit. Oh, my fingers keep getting stuck. Maybe lots of divots in my dough. Boo. Oh, oh, it is a day. All right, I'm gonna call that good. See if I cut it. I do a cut like here, and I do a cut like here, and then like here and here. I'll get 9. That should be pretty good. Okay, let's do it. Get another little like steak knife, just a sharp knife. I know that when you cut cinnamon rolls, you can do it with twine is the only word coming to mind. It's not twine. Dental floss. You can cut things with dental floss, but I'm not sure if that'll maintain these layers. So I'm just gonna use a sharp knife. Everything I've ever seen with puff pastry dough says to use a sharp knife, and I think it's for the same reason as the biscuits, is that they just want you to keep the layers, and so yep. All right, there's those, and I could probably make these smaller. Today we're making so this is puff pastry, and right now we're making berry and Nutella turnovers. I can say tarts, but they're technically turnovers. So let's get those. Um, Nutella has gone missing. So let's start with the berries and see where that gets us. And I just took a look in the oven, and this is looking really, really bad right now. So in the oven, look, I have pigs in a blanket and roll like ham and cheese rolls. They're just falling apart. They're just falling apart. Oh, hopefully, I really hope. I really hope that they'll come together a lot better than what they look right now. They just started baking, so hopefully they'll be better. Okay, so I'm just gonna put a big dollop of berry mix. I don't have a lot of this berry mix left. I'm just gonna fold these into triangles. and hope that these work out because those other things aren't working out the way I wanted them to. So let's see what happens. Oh gosh. Oh, and I can't find my Nutella. I have no idea where it is. Like, I thought we had some more Nutella. Like, we had 2 jars, and I know that I finished one off the other day. And by other day, I mean like it's been a month now. But I'm like, okay, we have a backup, and then I just haven't used anymore. So let me think. You know what? I have some different Hershey's Kisses. So maybe what we can do is we can take some Hershey's Kisses and oh, we'll cut the rest of these in half, and then we'll just take the Kisses and fold them up in the middle of these, and they'll be chocolate instead. Well, we're going to do some kind of chocolate anyway, so that kind of works. All right. Actually, I think this one needs a little bit more. But this is all the berry mix I have. So I was going to do berries and chocolate, and I guess I'm still doing berries and chocolate, just a little bit different. All right. So let's take our egg mix, and I'm gonna just put it on edges, like up here, so that we can close these up and stick them together. And there we go. That's not going to be as much of a triangle as I want, but it'll be okay. So take this, make a triangle shape. Oh goodness, just try and make little pockets. Oh gosh. These are not turning out the way I was wanting. That's okay. That's okay. Isn't that how these things go? They don't necessarily turn out the way you were thinking. That looks good. Because, well, I do have some rough edges on these, so that's probably part of the reason why they're not turning out the way they should or that I want, because I didn't square off the edges. But that one looks pretty good. I like that. That looks good. All right. So 1 out of 4 is not too bad. Oh no, it's coming with this. All right. Line up the edge. Pinch, 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 pinch. All right. I'm gonna shake the berry mix back in. Shake it in. We're gonna shake it in. And slipping and sliding. Okay. All right. Almost there. I'm gonna take this knife and scooch this over just a tad. And we're gonna cut this end off because I just want that to be better than that. And see if we can shape this into the middle, line up the corners, and I think this edge is going to be the messiest anyway. So see if we can kind of squish that out of there. And then just kind of see if we can keep all of that stuff in the middle. All right. Looks good enough. Wipe that off. All right, so we have the berry ones done. I'm gonna put these in the freezer so they can chill while we finish the chocolate ones. And I'm gonna grab my Hershey's Kisses so that we can see if we can salvage this because I thought I had Nutella, but apparently I'm wrong. Into the freezer. Okay, so I have peppermint and I have milk chocolate. I think, let's see. What are we gonna do? Because if we just fold it over, and if I put a couple pieces of chocolate in there and pinch it together, that should do good. So let's try with a couple of pieces of the peppermint. I don't think I want too many pieces of peppermint though. 1, 2. We'll do a couple of the regular kisses. 1. That's chocolate. And 2. So maybe more like that. That'd be good. And if we fold this over, that should melt in the middle. Okay. So we're going to go down one side. Okay, just making sure the battery's not dying on this. It's gonna die soon though. The other, we'll go down the sides. Okay, and we're just gonna fold this in half and push all of the edges together. So, alright, that's one peppermint. This is a chocolate peppermint. And what I'm hoping will happen is that the chocolate will melt and it'll become nice and chocolate peppermint-y. So yeah, I think we're gonna do 2 of the peppermint chocolate and then 3 just regular chocolate. And it looks like 4 pieces of chocolate kind of filled it up pretty okay. So I'm hoping that if we keep it to 4, then that will be good for the outcomes. That's what I'm hoping anyway. So we're just gonna open all this chocolate to start with so we can kind of mass produce this. We did one sample one, and I'm gonna go ahead and just kind of toss these on the sheet pan as we go along so they can freeze and just get better and better. One. We don't want the papers on them because papers are probably not delicious. And I think that there's technically, okay, so you know what, we'll do 2 peppermint, 2 regular chocolate, and then let's, I'm gonna see, we take one and cut it into smaller pieces, and then we just put the piece of chocolate on top. Let's see what happens when we do that. Each of these are just going to get a piece of chocolate on top. Maybe we should even fold up the edges to see if that holds together better. Experiments is what we like. So, now we're making cupcakes today. I don't know if in Spanish cupcakes is different than in English, but yeah. Okay, so we need 8 more pieces of chocolate. All right, we're doing things, getting places. Hopefully these will be delicious. I don't know. Never tried these before. I've done a couple of things with puff pastry, but it's usually savory, not usually sweet. And if it is sweet, it's usually something dairy. Let me just throw that on my foot. That hurt. Okay. We almost have enough chocolate. Almost. 1, 2. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Everybody in the club, so come on, let's drive to the chocolate store. We already went to the chocolate store. No need to drive. All right. So, I don't know. Looks good enough to me. Okay. Egg wash all my edges. All my edges. Need an egg wash. Okay. Wrong kind of edging. Don't worry about it. All right. I'm gonna silence this because I have a phone call to take. I did. I did. I did. Okay. Is that better? Okay. That audio was all weird. Okay. There we go. So we're just gonna put some egg wash on these. Hopefully they won't do what the other ones did. Oh goodness. You know, I didn't keep track of which of these are regular and which of these are peppermint. So that'll be interesting. But yeah. Anyway, so just egg wash along the top. So these, I did put egg wash down, like they're flat, so I put egg wash on the top, and then I just used the egg wash to help stick down the chocolates. So hopefully those will stick in there, and I don't know what it's going to do. I have no idea what that's going to do. That's just an experiment to see what happens. Because these four all have candies inside them, and then those have candies on top of them. So we'll see how these all turn out. I'm really hoping that at least these ones with the one inside them will melt down and become like gooey chocolateness in the middle. This right here is just an extra piece of dough, so I'm just brush it. Okay. So let's turn around, turn the camera around to see it. Here we go. We got some little pinwheels. We got some unrolled pinwheels. Oh, these look like springs. All right, now I am gonna set my 10-minute timer. Hopefully that turns out right. But you can see this one right here. This hot dog just like exploded out of there. Let's see. Kind of really hot, so I can't exactly. Let's go back in. I don't even know. Oh man. Nope, not going back in. That's okay. We'll eat that one first. So we have all of these, which if you look at them, you can see the layers. You can see the layers. That makes me happy. But I don't know if these, like, they're brown on top. Are these actually cooked all the way? Because they look like it. But we'll leave them. We'll leave them and see what they do. Yep. So some of the pinwheels came undone, which that's okay. But they look delicious. They'll be a great snack anyway. Okay. All right, now it's just resting time on down. Those other ones in the oven bake. And yeah, we're just doing it out. Let's remove this. Okay. We need competition. Okay, so baking competitions. I have currently applied for 0. We're what, third, fourth? What week are we in January? Is this the third or fourth week? I'm not sure. Let's look at a calendar. Calendars are helpful. The 18th, so it's the third week. 3 weeks. Oh, so we've been doing this for 3 weeks now. We're on a roll. We're doing awesome. Thanks for hanging out. That's where we're going to start. Thanks for coming and hanging out with me because I appreciate the fact that we've been doing this for 3 weeks and that you're here. Um, ooh, next Thursday is the wolf moon. So it's full moon. It's actually going to be while we're doing this. So maybe we can figure out something to do for the full moon, and then on Tuesday we'll see about making crepes. Just because crepes are super easy. Well, they're not easy. They're easy, but they're not like I don't know. Yeah, we'll see about making crepes, and then we'll see about doing something for the full moon on Thursday. I like that. Um, we're not gonna do something like moon cakes. Like I have forms for moon cakes. I've never tried to make moon cakes. Those would be awesome to make at some point in time. We're not doing that on Thursday. Yeah, well, we can see about trying that out. Tuesday crepes, crepes, crepes. We're not doing anything with crepes. I don't like crepes. Anyway, so we're gonna do those couple of things and then see what we got going on from there. But yes, so over this weekend, the plan is to um make up a curriculum for just general learning how to bake, and then going through that um like one at a time, and seeing if we can teach ourselves how to really bake using the plan that I set out. Hmm. Hmm. Okay. So that's the idea. Um, we'll also go over some like basic measuring and weighing techniques so that we can see the difference in those. Maybe that's something we can work on Tuesdays. We'll go over some basic measuring and how to measure and weigh things appropriately and why we do some of those things. While we make the crepes. What should we say? Crepes or crepes? I like crepes, but I think crepes is more correct. So crepes and crepes. Crepes. No creeps allowed. Um, and then the measuring and crepes. Because crepes are just kind of, you just kind of mix them. My mom usually puts them in a blender, so I think blender would probably be a good idea for that. Yeah, so we'll just make some crepes. We'll we'll go over how to do liquid and dry measuring and why weighing is better than measuring and like that kind of fun stuff. And we'll go through and make some stuff. And yeah, if there's anything that you all find that you have questions about or you'd like to talk about, feel free to come on by and ask those questions. I've been baking for most of my life now. Not saying I've been a great baker all of my life. I remember I was in third grade and I don't remember what was going on, but for some reason my mom wasn't home and I mixed flour and water and so much baking powder, so much baking powder. There was chunks of baking powder, chunks of baking powder in my little cake thing that I made, and it was bad, so bad. Hid it in the cabinet in the laundry room after I made it because it was just so bad. I think I eventually threw it away. I don't know if my mom ever found it. I think I told her about it at some point in time, or maybe she found out about it. I don't know. when you're missing half of your box of baking soda, I imagine it's not too difficult to figure that out. Um, but yeah, so did that in third grade. Um, in fifth grade, I made up my own cookie recipe, which I basically just took a couple of different cookie recipes and kind of melded them together. And over time, I've slowly like altered that recipe and just made it a little bit better and a little bit better. So I have that one now. But outside of that, like I just spent a lot of time baking and making candies and such, which I consider candy making kind of part of baking. So um, we've all spent some time on that. I know I've been wanting to make popcorn balls forever. Like I bought like I think it was the end of November when I started wanting to make popcorn balls. I have all the ingredients. I have the corn syrup. I have candy. I have butter. I have everything that you would want to put in a popcorn ball. I just haven't gotten around to making them yet. So that's something I want to make soon. But yeah, no, I used to make all kinds of baked goods and candies like fudge and truffles and like all that kind of stuff. That's what I used to do for Christmas when I was a teenager, like 12 to 16, 17. When would make up a bunch of these things, I would fold up I love origami, so I used to make my own little own origami boxes. And I'd fill them with treats and give them to my family. So that's what I would do there. I also know at like 14, 15, somewhere in that time frame, what I started creating my own Christmas traditions and making cinnamon rolls for Christmas every year. And so that's something that we still do. Try to like have cinnamon rolls for breakfast now. Um, it's not always like homemade cinnamon rolls. Sometimes we use store bought. Sometimes use like the Pillsbury. Like they're not actually rolls. They're just like a biscuit with cinnamon sugar on top. But sometimes we use those. And so, but just in general, it's cinnamon rolls Christmas morning. Um, and so I've been baking for a long time. I have lots of wins and losses. I was trying to catch it. I saw it at one and I tried to catch it. Okay, so let's check on this real quick and see what these look like. Because they've been in for 10 minutes. And they're goopy. You see it? Berries poking out. But they look like they're doing good so far. Look a little melty. So we just gotta give it a little bit more. So let's check on them again in 5 minutes. Okay. So this has been a very interesting experience with the puff pastries. Um, the dough was really hard to make. Well, it wasn't really hard to make. It was very worrisome to make because I felt like I was doing it wrong. There's also something about you're supposed to fold it a certain way. I just remembered that today. So you're supposed to fold it a certain way to make sure all your layers are the same direction or something. That doesn't make sense to me because if I have layers and I fold them over this way, they're still the layers. But if I fold them over this way, they're still the layers. The fold is different. So maybe having the fold in different places, like cut off the layers in some places. I don't know. But also, my either didn't wait for my butter to get warm enough or I didn't beat it up enough, and so I felt it crack in a lot of places, and that might have made places where like the butter wasn't in between the dough. So I don't know if maybe that breaks up the layers or something, but I don't know. All right. Well, these have been cooling for about 2 minutes, so I'm gonna give some of these a try. Um, let's start with our very funny thing in a blanket. This one just kind of crept out, and I'm like, let's put it back in. It was really hot when it came out. I was trying to put it back, but I think this end just kind of closed up really good, and I didn't want to. So I'm gonna bite the hot dog and bite the bread and see if we can do that. Mmm, that's light and crispy. I like it. Mm, it does look like the dough in the middle here doesn't cook very well. I'll have to check the other pigs in the blanket and see how they're doing. I think that the pinwheels are cooked okay, but um, I don't know if this is maybe moisture from the hot dog or if it's just not cooked enough. And if it's not cooked enough, that's fine because I'm thinking of reheating these in the air, like an air fryer or an oven anyway, and so it'll finish cooking when we do that. But it could just be that there's extra moisture from the hot dog, and that's why it's not. Mm, yeah, that's a little doughy. Overall, nice, tender, flaky, falling apart. I don't know if you can see that, but it is. So it's a decent pig in a blanket. Um, I probably could have used a few more minutes in the oven. That's what happens when I get impatient, though. So let's check out these pinwheels and see how they're doing. Hmm. So of course I had to shove that whole thing in my mouth because I'm gangster that way. Um, mm. So this is one of our cheddar cheese pinwheels. As you can see, it like straightened out, and here's the bottom. The bottom looks kind of toasty, so that's nice. I think that these were thin enough that they're actually baked all the way through, but let's bite into that. I can see over here. This does still look a little doughy. And like I said, I'm not sure if it's, these probably need like 5, 10 more minutes in the oven. Let's put them in for a few more minutes and see what happens. The mm, the the tarts are, or the turnovers are ready to check on anyway. That 5 minute timer was about to go off, so those are not ready at all. Yeah, no, they're super pale. They're starting to fluff up, but they're super pale. So 5 more minutes. So I think overall from on the counter. From the tarts. Why do I keep saying tarts? The turnovers on top are still really pale, and those are not done at all. We'll give those plenty of time. The ones on the bottom, I just put the pinwheels and everything back in. So I set the timer for 5 minutes, and I'm hoping that'll be enough time to kind of finish cooking them through. I think that's all I needed, but I put them on the bottom, so that's closer to the heating element. And I know they cooled a ton, so I'm not sure if that'll be if it'll mess anything up. But they are kind of doughy, so I do want to finish cooking them. We'll see what happens. Oh, water bubble. All right, there it goes. Oh, I hate it when you take like a drink and it like just gets stuck in your throat or your chest or just like sits there. And it's like, okay, relax and let me like feel it slowly let go. But why does that happen? Anybody know why that happens? I don't know why that happens. It's annoying. Oh, look. You see all that fluffy crumbs? That's everything that fell on the counter. I'm super excited for these. I think these will be a good little snack. We are going on a road trip this weekend, so I think these will be great to take with us and just kind of munch on whenever we get hungry. So, was that planned? No, it wasn't. But it works out really well. So, yeah, that was totally planned. I don't know what you're talking about. Does anybody else do that? Where um, something happens accidentally, but it's for the positive. You say you did it on purpose. Now, if something happens accidentally and you didn't want it, but then that, like I did that on purpose. Right. Oh, no, no, just me. Okay. Okay. I'm really excited that we're kind of on time today. I started early, like 2 minutes early, but we started early, and it. I really want this live stream to be about 2 hours. I do have a tendency to go longer because I just like doing stuff, and I don't like to like sit here and just talk at a camera. Which I love talking to you guys. It's like 90% of the reason why I do live streams versus just doing a video because one, I hate editing. If you want to edit my videos, let me know. There's no money in it right now, but there might be one day. Anyway, but I editing videos is incredibly time consuming and tedious, and I very rarely have the patience for it. So, um, I would totally um, film 6 million videos, talk to the camera, and then never edit anything and never post anything. So we do live streaming instead. I get to sit here and I get to talk to lovely people and respond when you send me things. And we still get to do the same things. Win-win. Mm. So the kitchen timer went down to like 20 seconds and I restarted it because the turnovers are still looking really pale and I don't trust that the other ones have been in the oven enough to finish cooking. So I don't know if it's because I put the things in the freezer and not the fridge. So maybe they got colder and they're not cooking up the same way. I don't know if maybe my oven's not the correct temperature or I don't know what's going on. But the number I saw our recipe said 375. It said 18 minutes for the pinwheels. And even the pinwheels aren't cooked through all the way, and they were in for, who knows, probably more than 18 minutes. But these turnovers, a very similar concept, and they've been in there for 20 minutes now, and they're still really pale. They're not done. They're not going to be done soon. Those probably need another 15 minutes. But let's look at them. Look at them real quick. See? Oh, steam attack. They're puffing up nicely and they're looking good, but they're nowhere near like. And then the bottom ones, I don't even know what's going on with them, but I just don't think that they've been in long enough to actually finish cooking and get that doughy part out of the middle. So we'll just give them some time. We'll give them an extra 5 more minutes, and then we'll probably take the pinwheels out and let those just kind of cool, and I'm going to be done with those. But I think it's going to be another 10 or 15 minutes with the turnovers. Whatever those chocolate things are. I think they have a name, but I need to get some Nutella. It's on the shopping list because I love Nutella. Actually, for a little while, I was making my kids Nutella and something sandwiches. Like it started off with peanut butter, Nutella, and bananas because peanut butter and bananas is good, Nutella and bananas is good, and so just mix it all together and it's delicious. But then as a treat one day I made Nutella and marshmallow fluff sandwiches. Those are even better, and my kids love them even more. I think doing those at some point in time as like a grilled cheese sandwich would be amazing. But maybe we can just do that for funsies one of these days. Just for fun. We'll make a Nutella and marshmallow fluff sandwich and make it like grilled cheese and see what that does. That sounds delicious. It reminds me of the game Curses. Oh, Curses, like, you guys seriously need to play Curses. I got the game for my kids for Christmas, and we still haven't played yet, but maybe I'll bring that with us this weekend and make them play it, because that game, I love that game. The basic idea is that there's 2 stacks of cards. We have action cards and curse cards. I forget what the action cards are actually called, but you have action cards and curse cards. And then there's a bell, and so when it's your turn, you do one of the actions, and those are things like compare everybody's earlobes and declare who has the most beautiful earlobes. They're crazy, weird little things. It's like, try to sell somebody a helicopter, or like, you don't actually have to do a good job at them. It's just like, you just turn to the person next to you, hey, you want to buy a helicopter? No. Please? No. Are you sure? No. Okay, fine. You don't have to have a helicopter. I'll keep the helicopter to myself. There, I tried to sell a helicopter. Challenge complete. Challenge cards. That's what they are. And then the other cards are curse cards. So you draw a challenge card, you do the challenge, and then you draw a curse card. And you give a curse card to another player. And the other player has that curse until it's either broken or they win the game. And those are talk in different accents. There's one where you have to like keep your wrists glued to the top of your head, or like you have T-Rex arms. But that's also a thing. If like you have the T-Rex arm curse, and then you get the curse that's like you glued your hand to the top of your head. Like you can't. I guess technically, like T-Rex arm. You have to stay like this for the rest of the game. But if you break a curse, then there's a bell. Someone hits the bell, curse breaker, and then you have to flip your curse over. You don't have to do it anymore, but you've now broken a curse. If you break 3 curses, you're out of the game, and you get to give your curses to whoever you want. So that's really cool. I think I won that game once with my family. Like we had 4 or 5, I think 6 or 7 people playing, and they were everybody at the end was giving me all the curses. I had like 10 curses on me, and I had to like speak into an invisible walkie-talkie, talk like a vampire, you're a teacher, and so before you talk, you have to clap 2 times and say attention class. So it would be like attention class. Uh, this game is getting ridiculous. But another one is that like somebody says the name of a food, ooh, that sounds delicious. And so that's what that was reminding me of. That sounds delicious. All right, so that 5-minute timer just went off. I'm gonna check on these. I'm gonna pull the pinwheels out and probably throw another 5-10 minutes on the timer. Actually, you guys should come look at this. This is looking pretty good. I think I'm gonna put another 10 minutes on the timer. That bottom rack is the pinwheels, the top rack, like they're starting to get golden brown, so those are looking pretty good. Yeah, we're looking good. The layers are looking good. They're toasting up nicely. But I was just looking at one of the pigs in a blanket on the bottom, and the like where the layers is separated. I lifted it up, and it still had that kind of doughy look to it. So, 5 minutes. Well, we just put 10 minutes on the timer. That's fine. We have 10 more minutes on the timer. Since I used a powder for my chai, I'm trying to just swirl it and see if I can get because like part of the powder settles. I don't know, like why does part of powder things settle? Like if you do a powdered chocolate milk, not chocolate milk, well, powdered chocolate milk too, but powdered hot cocoa. Then like the bottom of your cup, there's a layer of hot cocoa mix. Like why does that not mix in right? Anybody know? I don't know. You check out Google and see if Google has the answer. I don't want to ask Google though. And I really want to take a nap. My brain is very tired and I don't know why. I've been trying to go to sleep at night. Maybe tonight I'll go to sleep when the kids go to bed. I still have to pack for tomorrow and I have to make plans on going and getting to the car tomorrow. So we'll see what happens. Cleaned out. So swirling it worked. That's we have a really, really old cat. She's like 22 years old or something. And my father-in-law just took her out of his bedroom. I think that's really cute. It sounds like he's going somewhere. Just in time for me to be done making snacks. Rude. No, it's not. He's great. He's really quiet. Doesn't talk very much. At least not to me. I think it's more of a he just has his things that he's into, and I'm sure if I started talking to him about the Beach Boys, he would probably like talk to me for a while. But yeah, if I'm talking to my mother-in-law, but he's not a big like let's sit around and talk kind of person. He's more of a let's do stuff, let's do free stuff. So is it bedtime yet? I really want it to be bedtime now. No, but my kids should be getting home from school in about an hour, so I could take a nap for a little bit. That would be cool. It was really funny. I don't know, I just pulled a piece of hair out. You probably can't see it, but I'm either a really good mime or I'm actually pulling on something. One of my sons was concerned that my hair is turning gray, and he's afraid that that means that I'm gonna die soon because my hair is turning gray. And I had to point out to him, no, just because your hair turns gray doesn't mean that you're really that old or gonna die soon or any of that. Because my sister, like, I have a gray streak. You can't see it right now because my hair's red. But I have a spot like right here that's all white. My sister got that spot when she was like 15, 16 years old. So like gray hair doesn't mean that you're getting old, but he's been really concerned. He said, "Mom, you need to dye your hair. I don't want you to die. I need you to dye your hair." Doesn't quite work that way, but thanks, buddy. I don't want I don't plan on dying anytime soon, and I keep telling him, like, I'm healthy. I'm probably not gonna be dying soon. Not unless there's like a big accident. And like nobody can tell if there's gonna be a huge accident or anything, so yep. Alright, we got 5 more minutes on the timer. Let's check on this pinwheel. Oh, and technically these pigs in a blanket aren't pinwheel, but well, it feels light and fluffy. If you look, I don't know if you could see it, and it's too hot for me to kind of pick up. Right here, this one, like, it has that kind of darkness to the middle, and I'm guessing, before, I'm not sure if it's just not cooked all the way, if there's like water in it. We'll let that ride out the crazy train in there. The turnovers are looking really good, along with whatever those little chocolatey things are. Chocolate turnovers? Chocolate somethings? I don't know. Chocolate cuties? Alright, fine. We'll Google. Oh gosh. My hip wants to pop, but it's not doing that. Okay, let's see. Go to Google. Hmm. Puff Pastry kiss. Hmm. And this is chocolate puff pastry, and it has like chocolate in the middle. That doesn't. It doesn't look like. Well, if you see in the background, there's kisses like here and here. So you get those chocolate kisses. So those are probably. Hopefully that's what they look like when you're done. That'd be cool. But you can definitely tell, like, I need to get those a lot more brown. They're just starting to brown. Oh, so come on in home for those moments. You need everything you in the dress so much I confess. Oh no. Oh man. So, oh gosh, what are we gonna do for baking competitions? I really like, I love cooking food. I love making food. I love food. Food and I are best friends. We are good friends. There's also, well, technically, I'm what's considered food insecure, but that's a mindset. It's not a reality. I have so much food. I am a food hoarder. I'm a food hoarder. I like to hold on to food. I like to store food. I like to know that if things went down tomorrow, then I would still be able to eat and take care of things for a while, at least until we could get something else kind of set up and going to be able to eat, like get food. Um, yeah, no, I have big box of rice and a big box of mac and cheese. And like a big box, I don't mean just like a big box. I mean, I bought a case of rice. I bought a case of macaroni and cheese. I have like 5 cases of beans. Have I have food. Like I might be eating rice and beans and drinking water, but I am not gonna starve to death, which that is the important thing. But I always have a fully stocked fridge. We have like 3 fully stocked pantries. Like I am not going to be running out of food or dying from not having enough food anytime soon. I just need to have all of the food. Maybe one of these days it won't bother me, but it still bothers me now. So that's weird. This timer's about to go off. Now we're gonna turn off the timer and give us a few more minutes. Kind of. I don't care if the pinwheels are done. They're done now. The other things are gonna get a few more. Look, they're all brown. And brown as they probably should be, but they're all brown and delicious looking. They're goldy brown and delicious. Well, I'm assuming that they're delicious because they're golden brown, but who knows? They could be disgusting. Well, I ate one pigment blanket and I tried the other pinwheel. Like, they're not disgusting, but it's for each to decide on their own. See, was it? Well, I was mostly allegorical. That's for each man to decide on his own. So funny. Oh. So what are you all doing on this fine Thursday? So I'm baking. I'm gonna clean up this mess, figure out what we're gonna do for dinner, because it's probably not gonna be much more than like leftovers out of the fridge or something. And then I have to pack to head out on a road trip tomorrow. So yep, it's about 6 hours to where we're going. Um, I have to pick up the car in the morning, so I don't know when. I haven't decided if I'm gonna like go pick up the car, come back, pack up and leave, or if I'm just gonna try to take everything with me, go pick up the car, and then go from there. I only have 800 miles, so it would be better to just like pick up the car and go from there. But I also have like I want to bring a cooler of food. I want to like food and drinks and backpacks, clothes and stuff. So like it might be better to bring the car back, pack it, and go. But it's not. I don't know. Mm. All right. So I'm not trying to pick up my nose. My nose ring got turned around in my nose, and so it's just being really awkward. Awkward. The most awkward moment you've had? Mine has not been picking my nose on camera. That's not my most awkward moment. I've had way more awkward moments than that. I think my most awkward moment was probably when I was in basic training with the Army, and there was a full-fledged soldier who was actually like, he was like an E6 or something. He was really high up, and he was out there, and I like gave him a rundown of what we were doing. Like, oh, it's so sweet. Like, but I've already known exactly what I've been doing. Like, they went through basic training. They've gone to the range 6 million times. But me as a new private in basic training, like, felt like I had to explain it to them. That was a really awkward moment. They take it really well, though. They're like, okay, thanks. I just went on with my life from there. And it wasn't until like I got out of there, out of basic training and everything, and I was like, oh, they already knew what they were talking about, and I just gave unsolicited advice to somebody who just really didn't need it at all. Oh wow. I probably even had more embarrassing moments than that, but that's just the one coming to mind directly at the moment. Okay. I should have set another timer. I didn't set a timer. But give us like 1 or 2 more minutes and see. Oh, well, I think that they've at least turned out enough that I can show you guys. And we're not gonna open them up on camera anyway. So they're looking good. They're looking nice and toasty. Like I said, I want to give them a few more minutes, but like all of the pie fillings spilling out. Oopsies. I figure out how to crimp those better. Apparently my crimping game sucks. Suck at crimping apparently. Because that is the number one problem I'm having with all my parts and everything is that the fillings just like explode out. So to figure out a better filling, better crimping, better sealing methods. I don't know. We'll look into it. But yeah, so just about everything's baked. I'm gonna finish giving these. I'm gonna give these 5 or 10 more minutes. And instead of, I wasn't really gonna open them up right now anyway. Kind of see how they're doing and what they're doing and all of that fun stuff. So, yeah, thanks for coming and hanging out with me. This has been a really interesting project doing the puff pastry and seeing how it's turned out. It's turned out pretty good, I would think. Like it's light and fluffy and it's flaky and it's lots of layers and it's all pretty good. So that's awesome. Yeah, it's turning out really well. About how I expected. And then so just kind of seeing how the rest of this turns out. Well, we'll probably make puff pastry again another time. Not anytime like super soon, but maybe at some point in a time later. Um, I'm also thinking of making like a very basic bread recipe because we're really low on basic bread. I'm not gonna make it today, obviously, but and so I saw this kind of no knead bread. It's a very liquidy kind of bread, and you fold it by like just like scoop it and like fold, and it's just like all wet, and you put it into a bread pan and bake it from there. And so I'm thinking of trying that out at some point and seeing if it works for me, as well as it works for other people. Because if it's easy enough, then I don't see why I couldn't do that for my kids' sandwiches. Everybody's sandwiches? We'll see. We'll just have to see what happens and see if I can actually make that if it turns out good enough. Because I could just go to the store and get a loaf of bread, but we'll see if making my bread can be a little bit better. Better bread, better quality, better. All right. Well, thanks for hanging out today. We did our puff pastries, and they're looking really good. I'm really excited about it. But yeah, we got it figured. We did a thing. We did a thing, and it's looking good. So thanks for hanging out, and I'll talk to you on Tuesday. Bye. Yes, I want to end the live stream. For asking.